Just waiting. All right. All right. Hello, everyone. It is Bobby with Aging Grateful and Black Married Abroad. And as I promised, we are all here live, the amazing women of the Redefining Life Abroad Virtual Summit. We are going to get into it tonight. I am going to start off by saying that we are missing one of our incredible speakers this evening, but she is out living her best life, traveling, and we wish you much love, Danielle, and can't wait till you come back. And with that being said, guys, I am going to have our incredible speakers to introduce themselves before we get started tonight. I think we'll begin with Tracie Collins, since I'm seeing her next to me here on the screen.
Hey everyone, my name is Tracie. Thank you, Bobby, for hosting us tonight. I moved abroad with my honey and our daughter. I'm not gonna talk about her, but my honey, and back in August of last year, and had been scouting Mexico since 2022. And I'm excited to join this amazing panel to discuss what happens next once you land abroad, just to make sure that you guys are doing it from a healthy standpoint. So, hello, everyone.
Yes. Next will be Michelle Weddburn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Weddburn. I've actually lived abroad for over 6 years here in San Miguel de Allende. I've traveled in and out of Mexico for almost 20 years. So it is definitely home for me. I absolutely love it. When I moved here, we didn't necessarily have all of the information and the movements that are happening now. So I'm very excited about this whole summit that we have coming in August. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm excited to share with you my adventures here in these last 6 years and my business that is brick and mortar. That is going to be my talk, and also being a parent in Mexico. So I'm very excited about all the things and everything we're going to do coming up in August.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go with Allum from Our Exodus Life.
Hello, I'm Allum, of course, and I will be discussing freelancing and government contracting during our summit. I'm excited about that because everyone wants to know how you make money to move abroad. So that will be my focus. I've been freelancing for the last year and a half, and that has been very successful for me. So I want to share all of that with everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we'll go with Dee of Brown Girls Invest Too.
Great, thank you. Hi, I'm Dee Watkins. As she mentioned, my channel is Brown Girls Invest Too. I am a 5-year retired former engineer, and I also dabble quite a bit in investing and just growing your money. I invest in paper assets as well as in the stock market. And so it's a goal of mine to help everyone get their money together well enough so that they can move abroad, thrive abroad, and continue to live a good life and prepare for retirement if that's something that you're looking to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, and I am going to introduce myself again. I am Bobbi Robinson with Aging Grateful, Black Married Abroad. I will be talking at the event, the summit, on being married abroad. And that is a feat in and of itself, being married, but then add in preparing, planning, and making that jump abroad, and then living this life can be a very interesting and complex but amazing journey. So I'll be talking about that as well at the summit. Now, I wanted to give a shout out to those of you who are attending. Thank you again for attending. I see Positively Krill. I see Aileen Brown and Tanya Brooks and Michelle Gaynor. Hello, ladies. Hello, thank you, and welcome. Now, let's kind of get into this, and please shut me up if I'm talking too much or leading down the wrong path, because I can do that sometimes. But I would love to start off by talking about some things that have recently come about since Juneteenth has actually been yesterday. And seeing some comments and posts and videos regarding the aspect of moving abroad or living abroad or staying where you are or staying in the United States in this case. What are your thoughts? Because we've seen different things and topics about it of this last day or so. Share some thoughts that you may have as far as the mindset of moving abroad, because that's the first and foremost thing. Anybody want to chime in?
I have a thought, because, let me just go first and get out the way. I don't know if anyone follows like Big Will he's in Panama. And I remember someone in one of the Black expat groups was talking about how they don't want to leave the United States because their ancestors built it and this is where we're supposed to be. And his comment has stuck with me because he commented on that post. I want to make sure I give him credit for that. But he said, if your ancestors built a prison, would you claim that as your home? And I have been stuck with that comment for months. Like it's been something that's been stuck with me for months because it's true.
It is true. It is true. I honestly think that we can be conditioned to comfort in a space. And especially if we don't know what else is out there. Go ahead, Tracie. Go for it.
That's not comfort. That's complacency.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's not comfort.
There's a difference between the two. Okay, I'm done.
No. But it is, that is absolutely true. But I will venture to say that some would call it comfort because it's wrapped in a pretty bow. As an example, I will say this. If you know that this is, or you feel that this is all there is, and you're getting new cars every 2 years, you're getting, maybe a house, your closet is full, your refrigerator is full, you're buying the latest and greatest gadgets. You don't know that to be maybe
Bobbi, are you going after people's spending?
That goes with it as well, though.
Huh?
They're getting all the things that goes with it.
Yeah.
So that's not a comfort. That's not a comfort you get the things, but then you're worried about paying for the things. So what difference does it make?
Yes.
You're feeling an emotional void.
Listen, you're still on the plant. You're still on the plantation. Period.
That is true.
I think a lot of that is being tied to status. And having the latest, greatest phone, car, house, feature, clothes is tied to a certain status symbol. I mean, because why are people still buying a certain fruit phone when it's garbage?
Oh, really? Is that what we talking? Are we talking today?
I'm just saying,
my brand.
This is a Note 20. Okay, that was 2020. It's 2024, and it works beautifully. Apple is constantly, downgrading somebody's phone battery life. But anyways, it's a status symbol. It's really a status symbol.
And to be fair, our ancestors didn't have the latest greatest. So I get the thought process behind it. I do get the thought process behind it. But if you really think about it, and I'm not stepping on any toes, but what else does the United States plantation have to offer you? Other than these things. Go ahead.
Let's take this back to ancient Kemet. Like if we're gonna go ancestor, let's go all the way back. Okay, so our ancestors, before we became colonized and enslaved, and we were stolen from land, Black people, African people were global roamers. They roamed the earth. It wasn't until, that prison was built and we were stolen, that they said you need to stay here. So really, honestly, essentially what it is it's the jar analogy. You have the fly or the butterfly or whatever in the jar, and when you were, they hit their head because they think they can't go anywhere. That was our enslaved ancestors. But now that the lid has been removed, then the descendants think that lid is still there. And what that's called
Mm.
epigenetics. That is cellular DNA programming to believe that you don't deserve anything better if there's no other options out there better than this. So we're going to go back to ancestors. Let's capture them all, not just the enslaved ones. Okay, I'm done
Touche.
again.
Touche. She said she done again. Michelle says our ancestors want the best for us, and they travel. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I think, quite honestly, there is a level of fear, and we're speaking about redefining life abroad because we are all abroad. We all live in Mexico here, but our mindset had to change in order for us to be able to do this. We had to know that there was more on the other side of this. Can you guys maybe share what you feel the more that drew you to leave?
So let me say
Dee,
this.
what you guys say?
Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
All right. I'm always of the mindset, if you see something, you say something, right? And when people travel and they go see something and they find out it's easier, it's a simpler life, it's a healthier life for them, you say something, right? And so that's my I'm not trying to convince anyone to come. I don't get anything out of it, but for making things better for people in my life or people that I want to see do better. That's it.
Thanks.
That's all I get out of it, right? I get the satisfaction of knowing after I hear someone struggling with something that I know there's a possible solution for them, and it's not where they're currently located. So see something, say something. That's what it is for me. If it's if you're talking about work forces you to be competitive all day long. Competitive to get the bonus, competitive to get the corner office, or whatever the case, whatever bonuses and perks they're trying to give to you, you have to compete with the people you work with to be able to get that. That is a constant threat to your body. That is a constant worry, right? I didn't get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. That's a constant pull on you. Now, I know you got to work. I understand that. But it doesn't have to be in a situation where you're pitted against the people you work with. It just doesn't have to happen like that. And that's what the U.S. pushes on people. I say simpler. I always tell people, I just love that when I go to a restaurant in Mexico, I'm not going to get the big posh bathroom, but I don't care. All I need to do is wash my hands. That's it. I don't need to look and dress a certain way or constantly be worrying about how people are perceiving me as I go out, or putting down a certain amount of money before I walk out of the door. All I'm trying to do is let you guys know I went out and I saw something that was better for me. And I think it might be better for you. So that's what it is for me. That's it.
I think also too we have to define the word better.
Okay. All right.
Because and the reason why I'm saying that is because I have seen comments and responses to the fact of, well, if I can't have everything I have right now, then it's not worth me leaving. And so defining what better, I think, is something, what's better for you, because I understand it's an individual decision and choice, but kind of let's kind of define what better means. Better can mean different things, but what it means to you.
They have a community that checks on me, that actually calls me, sends me messages. How you doing? What you up to? Right? Not, did you get this done? Can you bring me this? They're not always trying to get something from me. That's better for me. It might be better for others.
You also have a community that lovingly calls you out when needed. Not you, Dee, but just you as in
I know you do it often.
Just saying, we lovingly, which, like Tracie says, can I say something? to bring something to your attention that you may not see in yourself. And that's what you need when you have people around you. I realized that when I was in the States, everyone who was around me, we all did the same thing. So there wasn't really a lot of growth in that kind of friendship. We all were in the same industry, we all had the same kind of background. So there wasn't a lot of growth in that. And then the US doesn't really allow you to foster good friendships because, like you said, Dee, you're in competition, it seems like, not by what you want to do, but just by design.
Yeah.
Michelle, what were your what's best to you?
Oh, well, I was thinking about everything, everyone, all the things that we're touching on. And I feel like it's a form of modern day slavery because we think we're so free to do whatever, but we're really not. There's the credit card, there's the mortgage, there's the car payment, there's the insurance. And so even if and when someone wants to have more freedom to maybe do more of the things they like, a lot of times they can't afford it because they've already been sucked into the vacuum. And to me, that's a form of modern day slavery, to just have things constantly that are not really important dangled in front of you. So much so that, if there is an emergency in your world or life, you could end up being even in deeper crap, right? Let's say there was a medical issue or something like that. So to me, living outside of the United States for this period of time, it's really allowed me to see the lifestyle that I think we've been sucked into, because we're constantly bombarded with ads and buy this and all the things that you mentioned. And again, having like that constant competition of being better than or whatever. There's not more of the promotion of quality of life. It's the appearance of I'm living well. And that's not always the case, right? How many people we talk to where moving was a big thing for them because they have so much stuff, right? It's hard to, it's like, where do I start? What do I sell? And if you think about what you paid for most of the things, you're only getting a tiny fraction if you even sell it at all. Most people end up putting it on the side of the road and it's just gone, right? All of those things. So for me, quality of life has been probably one of the biggest things. The safety that I get to feel and experience in the day-to-day movement. It doesn't mean everything in Mexico is safe. It just means that I don't worry about a lot of the crime-related, gun-related, mass shooting-related type things in the U.S. And I'm also not. I honestly, I don't look at anything. I just feel like I don't live there. So that's very draining to see it, right? Because everything about the news is typically, most things are typically, murder, theft, fraud, someone got robbed, because that's what people want to see. They want to tune in and see like what's bad in the world, right? What negative thing happened today? And I feel that here I'm not in tune with that. I'm not in alignment with it. I'm not in alignment with the racism and the drama and any of these things. And so I see things way differently than I did when I lived there, and all the subtle messages that are put in front of us with US television, media, commercials. I mean, if it's something to do with, let's say, HIV, right, that are featured in these things. When I watch movies and TV shows, we get, murdered the harshest way. And I see this now, it's always like that point blank shot in the back or something. And it's just so blatant. But I think because we're so used to seeing TV and movie and media as just entertainment, when in fact it's a lot of subtle messaging, right? Our lives are not valued the same way. So not living in the US for all these years, when I do see these things, it really does hit me very differently. So life in general, to me, the quality of life feels more valued here. And yeah, I just feel that you get more for the experience than living in the US. There's stress, but not at the same levels.
Tracie, what do you define best?
So I was making my list.
Ah,
She like,
I wanted
she
to make
like,
sure I didn't, because you guys know I have the attention span of a gnat. So I really
uh-huh.
wanted to speak to this. I think this is a really good point in defining what's better for you. For me, being a victim of gun violence, my mother was shot right in front of me when I was 7 years old. I was holding her hand, and she was shot by her ex with a double barrel shotgun. So being a victim of gun violence, people always think when you're not, when it hasn't happened to you, that it will never happen to you. And over the weekend, there was a Juneteenth celebration in Texas, and this Black mother got killed, and now she's gone from her three children and her husband. And it's just, wrong place, wrong time. And my first thought, honestly, you guys, was, has she not been there? And,
Mm,
we all are going to go. But it just broke my heart that her babies and her husband, no longer have her.
mhm.
So gun violence and being able to move about safely, I think, there's no utopia. So I don't want to give the illusion that, Mexico is the safest place in the world, but it is definitely safer than the United States, especially being a Black person. Another thing, because I'm so, hyper vigilant and hypersensitive to wellness, it's the food inequity in the United States, or the food lack of safety in the United States, or the food being unaffordable in the United States. And it's like, it's a privilege to be able to eat well. And that's just produce. That's like fruits and vegetables. So if you can eat fruits and vegetables that you don't have to grow, you of the upper echelon. So being able to have access to great quality, real organic food that's not the paid USDA stamp from the FDA, whatever them government organizations are that are, it's a complete fallacy. So that was another reason, because I just felt like I was paying people to poison me in the United States. The next one is healthcare. Access to healthcare, affordability, the safety in healthcare, especially for Black women, and then also the care behind the health, system. In the United States, you lucky if you get a good 15 minutes with your practitioner. Here, I'm looking at the clock like, dang, we done yet? We in here like an hour and a half, depending upon what's going on. The next thing is the freedom to gather. So, like the freedom to gather in churches or movie theaters or malls or, parks and recreation, just the freedom to gather. I mean, I'm so tired of the racial, division in the United States. It's just, it's trauma that you don't even realize that you're experiencing because you're numb to it. And that brings me to the last point. It's no longer being numb, being able to actually feel. And I think you guys, we can all say this to a certain extent. Now that we've been removed from the pressure cooker, we are now more intact and in tune with ourselves. But we're so used to the United States being, like Michelle just said, fed a whole bunch of trauma all of the time, that you become you're desensitized. And now that you've removed yourself from that pressure cooker, you can now begin to get in touch with yourself. That's why it feels so foreign. Like, wait a minute, who am I? Because I'm not used to feeling these feelings, because these are dormant. But now they're no longer dormant. So I can go on, but I'll stop there.
No, good. This is good. I was gonna add kind of like what you were saying, Tracie. For for me, I look at better as a standard to meet, a standard to meet. It's not about the things, it's a standard to meet. To be able to come someplace and to be free to just be who I am. I am not here. I don't feel like I'm a Black person. I feel like I'm a human being. I feel like I'm able to think outside the box, and it's just how I feel, and to go with that. That to me is priceless, because we are taught especially in the United States, because that's where we're from, to you have these choices. These are your options. This is who you're going to be. They're marketing to you, so all you have this that you need to get, or this is the next thing, and if you don't have it, you're down here, and that portion has been removed for me. I can freely be me, whatever that is, and find out what that is if I don't know. And that's one of the beautiful things about this summit that's coming up. If there are those of you who are truly feeling like this is the next step for you to move abroad and you don't know where to begin, or you are saying, I'm already in this box, but I need to be outside of this box in order to be able to make that jump, and I don't know how to do that. Maybe you had some lost loves of some or passions of things that you have desired to do or to pick back up again, and the space that you're in does not allow for that right now because of either work or lack of funds or things of that nature. This summit is for you. You get the opportunity to hear from these incredible women that you see here tonight, who will be able to pour out their wisdom, their knowledge, their love, and their passion for you to be able to move to the next step, which in this case, we're talking about moving abroad and redefining your life. Now I can get off my soapbox. So can someone explain, or all of you explain about, again, the concept of really redefining your life in each topic? And what I mean by that is share a little bit of maybe background to now and how you have shaped you've redefined your life. Because I'm going to say you probably what you're doing today back when you were in the States. But can you explain that or elaborate that? Anybody first?
I'll talk.
I go first. Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. So again, I've been here for 6 years. I think I had the privilege, I should say, of being able to explore Mexico before moving to Mexico. So I learned it from the angle of visiting and then really kind of embracing a lot of the experiences that I had that I didn't expect to have, because I kind of walked in, I was much younger, blindly thinking a lot of the propaganda someone mentioned earlier in the chat. But living in the United States and then coming here, I feel like I was doing the same types of things there in terms of being an entrepreneur, right? But coming to Mexico, the initial coming to Mexico, my personal situation was a bit different, but I always wanted to have something of a business. I just didn't know what that would look like. And I feel that I'm a good example of someone who really redefined their life, even if it wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be when I first moved here, but knowing that it was possible through the processes, right? It feels like in Mexico, a lot of the culture here is very entrepreneurial because people don't necessarily sign up for college, and not to say that there are tons of people with degrees and things, but a lot of people have their passion, whatever that is, and they get out there and they do their thing. And Mexico doesn't have like a lot of red tape in regard to maybe you being a smaller business or starting something. And I feel that here, there's so many more possibilities in this regard. So what I've learned is I took my skill sets and the business journey that I had in Florida, and I was able to bring it over here, and bits and pieces of the things that I did before already kind of educated me in that regard. But coming here and actually being able to do it and execute it, and it's, within my means, because I've ventured in and looked into so many business opportunity in Florida, and I just remember the costs were so high, right? Having that upfront capital, having all the permits and passing inspections and all those things. It's not to say that those things don't exist here, but it's definitely within reason. And I feel that it doesn't push out the smaller people from the possibilities. So that's really, for me, one of the things that I feel that I've been able to, really dig into in terms of redefining who I am, what I did over there, and the possibilities of things that I can actually do here that are within my means.
Good. Go ahead, Allum. You were going to speak?
Coming from corporate America for over 20 years, like I understand the fear of leaving the security of employment because it took a lot for me to leave my secure, good job that was making me mentally ill at the time and very stressed out. And moving into a space of feeling like real freedom in my career and separating myself from being identified as a person who works at a company and just, a person who happens to enjoy their life and makes money however they see fit. I feel like that is something people need to hear and people need to experience because we are way more than our job. And there's so much more to life than the money you make. But to be practical, you have to figure out how you're going to make it. And that's what I want to show people. It's like, this is how you can make it. And you don't have to make US size money to enjoy a good life elsewhere.
That
You
part.
can make reasonable size money that will benefit you, and you get to still do the things that you enjoy, whether it's the beach, the shops, the cafes, the dinners, dancing, arts, crafts. There's options, and I want to be able to show that to people.
And travel.
Yes, and have fun.
Well, show people that living elsewhere.
Yes. All
Like
right.
out of the states. You got to be out of the states.
Yes.
Yes.
Dee, because
Yes,
I know you're not doing what you were doing in the States before. Come on with it.
I am not. So I come from a background of being in corporate America for 30 years. So I was only given a range of things to do. I used to work for AT&T, and they kind of put blinders on you in the lower level jobs, right? And when I say that, they teach you how to do your job, they teach you how to do it well, and that's it. And you're just supposed to do your job. So AT&T is a huge company, but it doesn't. Again, they don't encourage people to look outside of what they're doing. Um, as I went into management, I got a little more range of things to do. But again, I still had a range of things to do. Since I've retired, and by the way, I've owned property for 28 years. So I've had a business for 28 years. I wasn't running it well, right? Until say like the last 8 years, I really kind of started to put things in place that I should have had in place to begin with. And only within the last year have I put it in better place, being around some of the women I'm around now. So for me, exploring the things of me self-promoting myself, I never did that. I knew how to do a few things. I knew how to do what the company asked me to do. I knew how to look at a company, evaluate it, and invest in it. That's it. I never thought that I would be the company and that I had free range to do whatever it is I wanted to do. And so for me, me figuring out that I've got all these skills, I just wasn't applying them in different ways or didn't know that it was an option for me to do it. I'm now doing that. I Right now I have so many opportunities coming at me that it's kind of too many opportunities. And maybe that's just because I'm coming from a mindset of only knowing to do these few things. I've got a lot more options now, and I'm exploring those options. Now that's on the business side. But when I say exploring, I'm also I like exploring. I like exploring land. I travel a lot, or I used to, right? Now I just moved out of the country and I explore the area that I'm in. So those are ways for me that I that have been a huge change, a huge shift for me. Um, I didn't have a whole bunch of I didn't have a whole bunch of hobbies. My hobbies were running and making money. That's it. Now I've got a few other options that I kind of dibble and dabble in now. So that's it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Tracie?
List.
She's gonna pull it out on you. She gonna pull it out on you.
I didn't write a list. However, I will agree with Dee when it comes to more opportunities. So for me, I'm a big manifester. I believe everything is, I set the tone for everything. I believe in manifesting and creating things energetically before they show up in the physical sense. A couple of things that I prayed for was community before I even left the States. Hey, Danielle.
You can't join us, Danielle.
She probably
Hey.
have connection. It's probably like way early in the middle of the night. Or okay, anyway. But community, having community, like-minded, like-hearted community was really important to me. Where I sat in my career, for those of you guys who don't know, I built and then also sold the largest company of its kind in the United States. When I sold it, I don't have to get into what it was, but I sat alone. I sat alone. I was always the only Black girl, always at the level of success in that field. And I was having big meetings with big, huge corporations and insurance companies, and they were coming at me, picking my brain or trying to pick my brain. And it's up to you to make a better place for Black women in this space. And I was like, I can kiss my ass because where's the check? So I sold it, and I'm happy that I did, and it's a legacy that will always be attached to me. But one of the things that, as far as redefining my life, nobody could take that away from me, as far as being able to create and build and scale and monetize, not just a solo business, but a corporation. And then also being a women's wellness expert. So I'm still those things, I just do it differently. And what I found is I created something that was killing me, and I needed to live in the space of life. And so I always say I specialize in life. I can grow a plant. I could grow and catch a human being. I specialize in life literally. So it's important to me that whatever I do, that I'm bringing life and growth to a situation. And here, since leaving, I'm able to have the freedom to do that with like-minded and like-hearted people who will pull your collar when you ain't right. Because as you probably can tell, I'm the one that says the things I shouldn't say, or I say the stuff that people are thinking. So it's that. But one thing that I will say I love about this group, and Stephanie said this, and it will always stay in my head. She says, if you are looking for community, get abroad. If you are looking for community, travel. And the moment she said that, it really resonated with me, because I just throughout the country, I've been throughout the country and have been able to create relationships with people throughout Mexico. But in particular, where I live here in San Miguel de Allende, this group before you is like none other to me. So this is the group that I manifested and prayed for while I was still in the States.
Thank you.
My life abroad. Did I go, from my elbow to my asshole to get to that point? Around?
No.
Like all the way around.
It made sense.
It makes sense.
But it was like I was bringing it together. I'm bringing it together.
You brought it home.
Okay. All right.
You brought it home. I will also say for myself, because I came from a background of education and real estate. So for those of you who don't know, that I was am a real estate agent in Arizona. But since being here and going through the experience of moving abroad and learning what that looks like, and then living abroad, my heart, my passion has gone out to help others to do the same. Also consulting and coaching people on how to handle their real estate in Mexico, as well as cleaning up the area of real estate that they may have left behind at home. And the transition for me has been phenomenal, because realistically, the noise has silenced, and I'm able to say, okay, what are my true passions? What do I really desire to do? And Tracie says this all the time. about it's okay to fail. I fail on a daily. Listen, call me the failer. Okay, and so I want people to know that are listening to this that even if your first plan don't pan out, go on to the next one. I don't know how many times we as a community here that you see before you have thought of some crazy, just out the box. Like today, if I could be Peter Pan today, I would. I mean, literally, we think, we act on it. If it doesn't work, we step back and then think about something else. Am I lying today? Am I lying today?
No, but what you made me think about is this Black excellence trap, like feeling like Black people, we have to do everything by the book, while Chad and them, or Tim
Not
and them,
Chad, not Tim and them.
over there, like having the courage of the mediocre white man. That's a book. They over there going through every loophole, creating every loophole, but we over here figuring like we got to do everything, by the book. Because Chad,
Before we go down that rabbit hole, let's answer Beach Life's question. I feel like they've waited patiently.
She has, and I was going to get to. I
want to get back to the discussion of Black excellence.
Oh, okay. Well, so Beach Life says, are there any beliefs about living in Mexico that you have seen other YouTubers promoting that may not necessarily be accurate? Thank you for your patience, Beach Life. Who's going to take that question?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not about.
I don't really watch a lot of like people who are living in Mexico.
I do. I will say this. Everything is not about the downtown Central and the beach. Let me just say that part, okay? Because primarily when you see a lot of people who do YouTube videos about Mexico, they're looking at all the little beautiful traditional vacation spots, but you don't want that. You are trying to move abroad to live somewhere. So I want to say all the little pretty stuff, just know that there is more to it than what you are seeing. And not saying that they're not accurate. I am saying that their focus is only showing you the beauty of a vacation spot, not living someplace.
Right. I think it depends on who you watch. You're also seeing people who vacation and not people who are actually living in a space. Like there are a lot of YouTubers who do travel content, and their main thing is to go to a place, experience their centro, their festival, and then leave. And they're not experiencing the everyday life of living in a space.
Right. I think from my experience, I don't watch a lot of YouTubers in general, but I think there needs to be the reality check of things can be complicated and difficult in your new space. From the language barrier, I believe, is really and truly one of the biggest challenge. The lack of understanding, the fact that you're a foreigner and you're probably going to have people trying to get over on you because of their own economic status or situation. And those things can really piss a lot of people off. I've had clients who are upset because, the taxi driver charged them 20 pesos more. And, so all of those things can start to break you down somewhat, but it's not a complete bowl of cherries, but I feel like what you're exchanging the new living experience for is worth it. The quality of life definitely for me seems higher. And I feel that I get to, not just myself, but along with my child, I get to experience more of the things that I want to because it is more affordable. But there are a lot of really complicated things that can come up, like even just basic things. Like this morning I was laying in bed and suddenly the power goes out, and I have 2 guests and I'm just laying there like, I'm pretty sure it's going to come back up. I'm not even, like in the past I would have jumped up and gone, oh, and now I just wait it out, right? Every now and then the water gets shut off with the city. And I don't have no idea. There's no announcement. There's no thing, and you just kind of wait it out. So learning to understand that things are operating differently and not at the vacation level, and also very differently for us who are still working and not just sitting around waiting for someone to, invite us to have a coffee and a breakfast because, we're retired. We're not. So I think that there are a lot of conversations there as well that people need to just, yeah, to have.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I
In
mean, a lot of
fact,
people aren't as flexible. And
Right.
that's a muscle I feel like you learn when you are already abroad. You don't come here with the idea of, yeah, I'm prepared to deal with my house flooding. I'm
Mm-hmm.
prepared to deal with the electricity going out for 2 hours out of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't come here fully prepared for those experiences. And so you have to be flexible
Mm-hmm.
in that. You have to be flexible of like, oh, the bus is overcrowded, but I need to take it to go home. And I'm not prepared to stand up on this bus because they take off as soon as you get on. It's just certain
No
things
AC.
that what'd you say?
No AC. Sorry to cut you.
Right, no AC. But it's just a lot of things that you just cannot prepare yourself for. And it's part of the journey of living in a space.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
I think the benefit you have with this group is we have done it. We have lived actually, and we're not speaking from what ifs, we're speaking from an actual place of been there, done that. We can talk you through it.
Mm-hmm.
and we're being real about the experience too, because not everything is flowers and roses and gems. We do have some challenges, and we're willing to share those as well. And I think that that is the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I agree with
And
that.
we have a private chat, you guys, this group. And then so one of the things that we were talking about something yesterday, and I said in the chat, I said, but they had a warning and they don't have community. We were talking about a particular incident that happened in the States. Um, Consider like what you see your warning, what's happening politically in the United States, people who are actually are living, not just traveling, abroad, like you have, and your warning, there's warnings that are happening. Not saying that you should be scared, but if you are concerned and desire a better life for yourself, you can take heed to the information that we're saying. But community made the difference for those, or who can make the difference of those who survive or not. And in the United States, it's all about individualism. This is why
Yes.
Bobby said, I don't know, my brain, I forgot, but you said something in regards to community.
Yeah.
You have community, you can call community. Like when my stove blew up, I literally called Michelle because I knew she had been here longer. She had the resources, and it blew up right with me standing right there
Mm-hmm.
because they configured differently. And come to find out, like a few weeks later, Danielle's stove blew up. So we had the resources to then support her, and we pulled together as a community. I know Dee showed up at the house. Michelle was, supporting. We were giving her our gas person's information, and this is what I'm talking about. It's about communal living, but it's also that we've been conditioned to think individually, like pull your own stuff up by your own bootstraps. It's all on you, and there's no success in that. You really go further together.
And I want to add to that point because I actually interviewed someone who's Mexican about a year and a half ago. And that was one of the things that she said in terms of even the smaller towns in Mexico, the Pueblas, out on the ranch, that people are friendly. They do get to know their neighbors because there's not the same response system that we are used to in the United States. You call a neighbor, you get help from the person that lives next to you. And they all are in it together. So you get to know each other. And I feel that that's also one of the things that we're adapting living in Mexico is their culture, the way they operate with each other. Even having people that are working with you, not just to say, oh, they're my housekeeper. They will be in your corner if you allow them to be in your corner. For example, I had I have a Mexican friend, and I remember maybe a few years ago, he said, one thing with Mexicans is they're very loyal. Once
Mm.
they're in your circle, they're very
Absolutely.
loyal to you. And I have this experience every day. You know, I have had other individuals I've worked with and they've been loyal as well. But right now I just have like two that are just really good, good to me for my business. And I'm realizing that I can't even make it without them. Plus now we have our group as well. So it's like all these different levels of community bonding support that I definitely did not experience when I lived in the United States. I always felt like single parent with a business, raising my child, knew my neighbors just a tad, but not enough to really say I would call them. I'll call 911 if emergency pops up. And here I would do that if it was, serious enough, but also I would call the people in our circle and just say, hey, this, what happened. So, and all of us are always ready to jump in and help. So it's really beautiful.
I'm trying to get Kayla
That's
to, that's Kayla right there. Trying to get her to
oh,
come.
what's up, Kayla? I do want to address this. Someone had put in the chat, and I'm getting it, but talking about, if I can find it right now, about family, um, family, and telling family, and I'm looking for it right now. Here we go. And the Tanya Brooks,
Yeah.
Mm.
uh, that well,
Oh,
it started with Tanya, so I'm gonna go there. Tanya, she says her eyes got open when she found herself being the only surviving member of her immediate family, and she's grateful for us, and we appreciate you, Tanya. We really do. And then followed up with Michelle was talking. Excuse me, Aileen.
Mhm.
I stopped telling my family any plans since I believe they may be trying to sabotage my move abroad plans. Can anyone talk about the fact of family and friends and the acknowledgement of moving abroad, and the ramifications and the comments or the deflections that are being used to help maybe someone who may be encountering or experiencing this? Some people may not be able to not say anything, but maybe offering some suggestions or comments.
I actually don't want to speak to this exactly. What I want to speak
Uh-huh.
to is Tanya's. Um,
Okay.
I went to Mexico alone. Um, the people you see here, and most of the people I know, they went with someone. Because I'm there alone, honest, I'm with dogs. Other than that, if I hadn't developed or built the relationships that I built with some of these people here, I wouldn't have family. I have built-in family with these people here. Even though I live alone, when I was sick, I had one of them came to Danielle came and brought me and made food for me. She brought food, went home, made soup. Eat. Allum sent me enough medicine. I still got medicine. Anybody want some? Anyway, you know, each of these women, and not just the women, people there will help. You will have family. Don't think that you won't. I have a huge, what do you call it when it's not your immediate? What's the other people?
Extended.
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 They're huge. I don't depend on them much. I don't ask for much from them at all. I have a small immediate family, right? My immediate family is not even in the state I'm in right now. So they couldn't get to me if they needed to. I have to depend on others. And some of the others are the people you're going to form relationships with before you even get there. And when you step foot on that whatever land you're going to set foot on, you will get the community. You will get the family. They're not going to be my friend. They're going to be my sister.
Mhm.
They're going to be my someone who I consider a mother-like figure to me. That's what you're going to get. I promise you that. Now we can.
And I just wanted to add that every place you go to may not have the same kind of support system. And that doesn't mean it won't be abroad. It just may not be in that one place. So it might require you to, venture out, find a Facebook group of more community minded places that you might be able to go to, right, Dee?
Yeah, and now I need to do this. I'm sorry, I got to get back in there again. I didn't start in San Miguel. I started in Guadalajara, and I formed good relationships. Not a whole bunch, but I still. The other day, someone called me and told me that the baby girl was not graduate. Well, anyway, the little baby girl was about to go to kindergarten, and they wanted me to leave her a message and send her a video, and I did that for her. The reason I did that for her is because before this happened, she drew a picture of her family, and they sent me the picture, and the picture has somebody with these in it. Stick person with some of these, and they said, that's you. She put you in her family picture, right?
Oh.
So that family I developed in Guadalajara, but I don't have as great of relationships with the people there, even though I was there longer. And some of that's because some of the people are transient. A lot of people going in and out of Guadalajara, they just come and they go, right? But I don't know that I could have set up even if the people were staying there, I don't know that I would have the same relationships that I have right now. But again, it's because of like-minded and like-hearted people. You will find your folks and they will find you.
Absolutely. I do want to go back and address about the family, the family situation. The thing is to keep in mind for me, this is just a suggestion, is everything that you're doing right now, this process of planning, if you are not already abroad, maybe even sharing this information with others, is that it is your choice. It is your decision. Mm-hmm. And when you get on that plane or that bus or you're driving to your next destination, your new life, those people are not coming with you. You are forging this path, and you set the example for them and show them how it's done. This is your journey, and you have more than enough support on the other side. Let me say that again, more than enough support on the other side. If you're getting involved in these Facebook groups, you're on these YouTube channels and building community here, reaching out to people, you have more people supporting you, cheering you on, and rooting for you on this journey than the family members or friends that are telling you or dissuading you from your decision. Please know that you have the cheerleaders behind.
I'm sorry to keep jumping in here, but just my screen, what I'm looking at right now, we are representing Florida, Arizona, California, Chicago, and the comment that is up, London, right? That is now in Mexico, by the way. All of those people, I didn't know any of them, but each of them I consider a sister at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, and I'm just
Can we
gonna
talk about the Black excellence trap though, real quick?
Yes, please do. Please do. Before we do that, though, let me also say this. If you guys are enjoying the conversation that we're having, this is light topics, guys, because what we're doing is we're just sharing a piece of ourselves, getting to show you who we are, our hearts behind the fact that this is something that we are all passionate about, is helping people to move abroad. And if this resonates with you and you are wanting to get proper education, support, guidance, encouragement, a blueprint for the journey, join the Redefining Life Abroad Summit. I placed the link in the comments, guys. You do not want to miss this, August 10th and 11th. Do yourself a favor. Buy a ticket for a friend or a family member who is on the same trajectory as you. Link arms and let's do this together, guys. I just wanted to say that you're in for a treat, and we'll talk about Black excellence right now. So let's talk about it, guys.
I just wanted to say that the U.S. has people believing that you have to do everything right, because if you do everything right, then you're going to get the reward. And what I want my people to realize is that there is no meritocracy. There's no benefit to being right with everything because people are out here enjoying their wicked lives. So
I just love
we're
how
trying to.
Alan says things. It's
Just
like
flow.
I'm just saying.
you have like the good angel, and then you have like who says things the right way, and you and Bobby, you and Alan kind of teeter right there. I'm like way over here. But
Nah.
I'm just saying, and it's just I'm trying to find a way to go around it because I feel like in the summit we can be more direct, but on YouTube we kind of have to go a little bit around things. And I just want to say that, Black excellence is a trap. It's a
Yes,
trap
it
of
is.
getting you to work more than what you have to do, work more for no money, and it's this idea that maybe if I do twice as much to be half as good or, just as good as the people who are giving mediocre work, then maybe then I will finally get the reward, which is nonsense. Because to me, that just sounds a lot like slavery all over again. And I just want us to let go of this idea that we have to be excellent in order to be worthy, because that's just not a thing. You're already worthy.
You, you
Right.
are.
You got
I
to
just
put
want to know.
yourself first. I
I,
think that, sorry,
oh
I,
no.
I feel that if you want to, hi, Yvonne. I feel that if you want to step into more of who you are, this is a great way to do it because sometimes you just can't see all of the greatness because you haven't experienced it yet. And I do think that it's not just the good life, less things cost less, you get more for your money. Really and truly, I feel that, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure a lot of the other ladies think this as well, it's an opportunity to just keep creating and it's kind of like having these blinders kind of removed where you're able to really bud into something else. You can morph into a whole other person who, again, gets to explore all the possibilities that maybe, oh, I didn't have money to go to that, art school in New York City. So I just went to community college and I got my business degree, even though I always wanted to do this on a creative level. I feel like here it really allows you to go back in time in some kind of way and really start exploring, and the possibilities are endless. I mean, we just keep creating, right? We
Yeah.
just are continuously creating. And
And
what
I'm
I love about it and this, present moment is having, again, other like-minded individuals that are really at the same mindset and level where we're like, okay, what do you think about this? What about this idea? And we're just like, yeah, like you said, we're trying stuff. If maybe not all of it sticks, but we're still doing it, right? And we're sharing and growing in this capacity, not just a corporate setup. And don't get me wrong, yes, I know those things pay. I get it. But yeah, I quit corporate in 2002 and I never looked back. So that's it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just want to know when the goal post stops moving, because
Yeah.
that's the real key. Because the thing is that you say you attain this, and then it's up here now, and then you attain here, and it's up here now. The thing is that it's a constant moving goal post. What Black excellence is, and there is no stopping point. You're going to tire yourself out, be mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually exhausted,
Mhm.
and then you die. That was it. That was your life in a nutshell. But you have another way. There's another way of living, and we are experiencing this firsthand. And so Black excellence to us looks like taking our lives back, being who we are, being free to be creative, to be spiritual, to be healthy, to be wealthy, to be strong, to have community. That's Black excellence now to us. And might I add, global citizenship. We are global citizens. We are not bound to one location. I know we're all in Mexico, but no, you are not bound to one location.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh. Anything else that you guys have to add? Because this is a great conversation. Last thoughts?
Oh, did we have questions from the last live? Anything we wanted to cover from them?
We actually
Remember.
I added that in the first part
Okay,
of the
cool.
thing. So yeah. Again, ladies, gentlemen, all who are attending, if you're watching the replay, we love you. You were missed. We hope to see you next time. But just know this, we have an incredible virtual summit that will be happening August 10th and 11th, Redefining Life Abroad. I put the link in the bio. I will share it, in the comments, I will share it again. Get your tickets, guys. I know that we'll be doing a couple of other lives on our other channels as well, so stay tuned for those. But guys, you do not want to miss the content, the community, the connection, the energy that you're seeing here today in that virtual summit, guys. I'm telling you, you'll be in for a treat. Do not let it pass you by. Thank you all who attended this live. Thank you to all the people who have commented and shared and given us questions. We really appreciate you. Thank you guys for joining my live. I love you guys. And believe it or not, we didn't know each other before moving abroad. So this should tell you something, that community can happen. It is a possibility, and the type of community that you crave and desire can be yours. So just know that. Love you guys, and we will chime in with
Michelle
you
got a
later
church
on.
finger.
I have a church finger comment. It's short.
Oh, sorry.
I
Oh, no,
also-
go, Michelle.
I just wanted to say, also look out for us on other people's platforms talking about this summit. And that's going to be coming as well in the next couple weeks. So it won't be just us gathering here, which we love these conversations, but there are several people that are also supporting us and that we're excited to, have on their platforms.
Go ahead, Tracie.
Also, please remember to like this live, you guys.
Yes.
But also, please, a couple of things. Please follow each and every one of us, because we're sitting up here pouring our hearts out, sharing our lives with you guys, and we want to do this. But YouTube is not necessarily the kindest place when it comes to growth and exposure. Especially for people that look like us. Thank you, Allum. So your help and support is totally free if you follow each and every one of us. Take the time. I know in my description, I have everybody's channel linked. And, because we want to continue to do what we do, I think we all have a passion for seeing people thrive, and especially people that look like us. So your help would be essential for us. And then also, please take this link and share it with somebody who would benefit from it. Somebody who you think would be able to not just, benefit from going to the summit, but benefit from this conversation. And the reason why we're touring each other's pages or each other's channels and having these continued conversations is simply because we want to continue to spread the message and help. So you guys can help us by, sharing the content information.
You gotta remove the comment, Bobbi.
You.
Huh?
You got to remove the comment that you put up on the screen in order for them to see our channel names.
Oh, the comments I what?
Unhighlight the comments.
Sorry. So you guys, you see how we do correction is necessary, and it was done. I appreciate it. But let me all challenge you, those of you who are watching our channels. Thank you very much. Let me challenge you with two things tonight. One of which is make a commitment to follow all of us, please. Make that commitment. That's one that you can do. Two would be to share this live. Share it with one person. And you may be able to help change someone else's life as well. I do have a third. And the third one, ultimately the most important, go ahead and book your ticket. Buy a ticket for a friend or a family member, and we will see you in the summit.
Wait.
Thank
Just
you.
really quick. Really quick. I know we keep.
Ready to go.
Wait,
No,
can we just?
wait, there's more.
I want people to know what we talk about on our channels because we don't
Yes.
talk about the same thing. So we're not just
Yes.
asking for your follow. It's like I think all of us have valuable
Consume the content. Don't just go click that you subscribe.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Right.
Watch the whole videos, like, comment. Me and my husband have a channel called Our Ex's Life where we vlog essentially. I usually vlog about my day. He usually does like scenery and shows you what the city looks like. And then I have another channel called Finding Allum where I am going through my own redefining my life at 46, trying to figure out what it is I want now that all of my children are older and I'm not, a mom who is required as much.
Awesome. All right, Dee.
Yes, so Brown Girls Invest too. That's what I do. I invest, but I am encouraging you guys to get more involved with your money. I teach people how to save money and how to grow their money. And it is especially important for me now because if you guys aren't aware of this, we are in you've got a huge opportunity right now.
Wealth transfer.
Yeah. If you guys have heard anything about the companies that are really moving up in the market, you can actually do very well for yourself within the next couple of years, within the next few months. And it kind of floors me that not enough people are investing the way they should. Now, it's because they don't have the education, but that's the education that I'm providing. So check out my channel and don't just hit that subscribe button. Look at what I have to offer.
Absolutely.
I promise you, I'm going to save you or grow your money just by looking at those videos.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah.
And Michelle.
So I am Michelle Weddburn. I have a guest house space, which is called casaelm.com. I consider my space the soft landing experience in San Miguel de Allende for anyone who is really interested in exploring Mexico, exploring central Mexico, and not necessarily just showing up at an Airbnb and trying to figure it out on your own. That's a lot of the purpose of Casa Elm in general. And my channel, I feature and talk about just things that I think affect people moving to Mexico. I talk about insurance, medical insurance. I bring on guests. Next week, I'm actually having an art exposition, which will feature 16 Mexican artists that will be here to talk about their work and their experiences. So I feel that I am really covering a lot of not just pretty in town things, which I also love, but I feel that because I've been here longer, I'm able to really bring people on and share stories and information that really affects, do I want to move there? What is it really like from a living standpoint in terms of, being immersed a little bit into the community in that regard. So that's really my purpose.
Awesome. Tracie?
For me, I support business owners and entrepreneurs in the in the virtual space. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who is looking to pivot, then I talk about business growth and strategy and marketing efforts and branding from a virtual space. Not Michelle focuses on brick and mortar. I'm the virtual space girl. So I do that. I also talk about women's wellness, how you can get your wellness right together, because it don't matter. I always say this, it don't matter how we can, sell you guys and all the pretty things, but if you're not well, then your health is like, you can't take you with you anymore. So I also talk about women's wellness, and I showcase my life in Mexico.
Absolutely. And again, I am Bobbi Robinson with Aging Grateful and the other YouTube channel, Black Married and Abroad. Aging Grateful is about our transition from moving from the United States to Mexico. We talk about pre-retirement planning and what that looks like, as well as the aging process, that just because you're getting older does not mean sit on the couch and do nothing. Get out here, live life, enjoy yourself, and showing that we still have the best part of our lives left to live. Black Married and Abroad. That channel is specifically for Black married couples who are looking to move or have already moved abroad, and we discuss some really great conversations and topics about the marriage process, married topics, and we definitely get under the skin of each other as far as the conversation. So with that in mind, guys, it's been a pleasure. We love you guys. Thank you so much for attending, and until next time, get those tickets, guys. Much
right.
love.
Good job.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.